Next, on this episode of The Nice Guys on Business.
One of the biggest things I learned as an employer was when I was talking with my employees, I thought they knew what I wanted because I would say it to them the way I thought it. And they would go out there and they would do their own thing. And I would come up to them like, what the hell are you doing? That's not what I wanted you to do. And their response was, I thought it was. So being clear, with your clients, with your employees, that's one of the crucial aspects of being a leader.
You have an iPhone or something inferior?
iPhone. Even if I didn't have an iPhone, I would say iPhone because of the way you put it.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that the nice guys didn't exist. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Friday. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Doug Sandler.
You've spent the entire week mocking me.
No, I'm trying to slow down. But right now, early on, I have to think about it. So it has to be a little more dramatic. And as I get used to it, it won't be so dramatic. So I'm not actually mocking you. I'm just trying very hard to take your advice.
So
maybe it comes off like mocking because that's just me.
So the advice that I gave you of could you just slow down on the intro so that our community doesn't feel like you're running through the episode, that's just that was
you know what that is, Doug, that you just did?
Oh, exposition?
Exactly. No more exposition. If people did not listen Monday, fuck them. All right.
Hold on a second. Wow, that's a great way to start the show. We said at the beginning of each show, we will tell people that we love them, we care about them, and that we are not going to necessarily, we're going to feel like they're so much a part of the conversation that we don't have to explain everything that we say.
You know what that is that you just did?
Is that more exposition?
Exactly. How often are we going to do the exposition to tell people that we're not going to do exposition before we stop?
Maybe that will be forever. Like I thought.
No, but that's too much exposition to explain that we're not going to do exposition.
Oh shit! Let me write down as a topic 42 DJ Talk.
So we're going to talk about that. We talked about that on Tuesday, right? Or was it Thursday? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I don't think I wrote that down as my topics that we were going to discuss. So I'm writing it down now so that we can go back in our time machine and fix it on Tuesday or Thursday.
Exactly.
Oh man.
And we're not going to explain that because we're not going into exposition.
No, I'm not going to explain it. But just so you know that if you haven't understood any of the inside jokes that we have shared with you so far, go back a few episodes when all we did was we talked to you specifically. And you know what? As a matter of fact, if you want to hear even more of the explanation of what we're doing and why we do it, go to patreon.com/nice guy. If you do that and you're a $2 contributor, you're going to have, number one, a shit show of Strick teeing off on who I thought was a friend of his as a part of our little pre-show recording. You'll also have the explanation of why we are going to stop referring to our nice guy community in either exposition form or as in we feel like they're sitting right next to us, but we have to explain something to them. No, that is exposition.
It's going to be a work in progress. We're going to settle in on this, but it's just not quite there yet.
No, not quite. Yeah, it was just a fakakta idea that I brought up to you a few episodes ago.
Now, bottom line is we are not going to explain every teeny tiny little inside joke that we do. If you guys want to figure out what they are, you can either go back a whole bunch of episodes and listen, or for $5 a month, you can be a Patreon patron and you can ask somebody in the Slack group, because the $5 a month level will get you access to our Slack group of other Funkin' fans who just like to shoot the shit, and we jump in and talk too.
Yeah, so the funny part about the Slack group is it's kind of like the microwave oven of learning about everything that's going on in the show, because it is like a condensed. It's a very, very a concentrated. It's almost like buying the orange juice that's in the freezer. The one that they really boil. They concentrate so much
and not adding water.
Not adding water and just drinking it.
Exactly.
So if you really want, this is good. This is good fodder for a Tuesday Thursday show.
And by the way, we kind of took a little shot at Slack on Wednesday, but I never got around to saying it was really just the sign up process. It was a bit weird. After we get in, it's great. It's really cool. It's pretty fun. Except that it's hard to get back to the main page. I forgot.
No, it's not really hard.
To the Slack guy.
It's not. Yeah, you know what? Let me make a note. I got to get Slack. Slack.
Yeah, the CEO of Slack. We got to get him on.
That's
Or
the
somebody
beauty-
from Slack.
That's what's so great about having a podcast. Whenever we have a question or a problem,
we just reach out to them and say, "Hey, you want to be interviewed?"
And it's not like it's not like I go to one of their support people. Hell no, I go right to the CEO.
Right,
I'm like,
exactly.
Hey, I don't know how Slack works. Can you come on the air? Tell us about your business philosophy. Oh, and by the way, how the fuck does this work?
Oh, I see. We have a general channel and a random channel. That's not that hard to get back to.
Yeah,
right? I just had to figure it out.
it's and there's a swipe left and a swipe right, and be careful if you're on Tinder and try to do that. Oh man, is today interview day?
It is Yigal Adato, or is it Adota?
No,
Adato. Wow, what a mess.
Yigal Adato, right? Exactly. Yeah. Great guy. He comes from the. What's interesting was when he first came on the show, I thought that he said he was a porn star. He didn't say he was a porn star. He says he's a pawn star. He owned a pawn shop for many, many years, a family business. He takes all of the lessons that he learned out of that business, all of the marketing secrets that he learned, all of the relationship building skills, all of the expertise about how to run a business. And he built this whole program, basically a leadership program. Leaders Don't Run is one of the blogs that he had written. And he really does a great job of talking about leaders, the importance of building community, relationships, and everything it takes to be an entrepreneur in today's really highly social world, high tech world, but with a high touch, concept.
High tech and high touch. That's what you are all about, Doug. Don't get into a white van if you see Doug pull up on the side of the street, because he is all about high touch. Yeah.
That's the high touch part of me. Strick, one of his technology tools that he talks about, I think you'll really like it, Evernote.
Oh, Evernote, yeah. I mean, I use OneNote now, but really, the whole digital notebook thing, it's I don't hate Evernote. I'm like, they're kind of the same thing. It's just, I love my digital notebook.
Wait, let me make a note. I got to get the Evernote CEO on our show. All right, can we get to this interview?
Yeah, Yigal Adato, but we got to do the promise statement first.
So the promise statement is to provide a learning experience that is something and something. A learning experience that is entertaining. I had to quickly scroll through it. Entertaining and adds value to your life. That's the Nice Guys on Business promise statement. If you feel like we're up to that, that's great. Let us know at DJ Doug or at Nice Guy on Biz. That's how you reach out to us on Twitter. If you don't feel like we're doing that, we would like you to join us on Slack. And it's only costs you $5. So.
Right. $5 a month for Patreon. And we are proud to be affiliated with the C-Suite Radio Network. So let's get to the interview with Yigal Adato.
Let's do it. Get ready for the 1-2 punch between the eyes, because our guest today, he hits hard, but he hits honest too, about building a legacy for generations to come. He shares his message and his journey with us here on the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Yigal Adato, he kind of gets it from the reality of running a real business like a pawn shop to reinventing a career of his own. If you've ever said, I'm afraid, I can't, I fail, today's episode is for you. So welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, Yigal.
Thanks, Doug. I'm happy to be here.
Hey man, we're glad. I'm glad you were put together. I think that Tom and his gang over at Interview Valet was the reason we came together.
Yep. It's all their fault.
Oh, all doing a good job. So something really stands out for me. This initial thing is I'm just looking through. I do a little LinkedIn kind of profile search. I go around the internet. I see, hey, was this a porn star? Or was this a pawn star? And in your particular case, you were a pawn star.
Yes,
so.
PAWN.
Right. So share with our Nice Guy community this a little bit of this pawn and money laundering, money lending business, and talk about that's total real world. So share with us the real world for a moment.
Sure. So after high school, I decided to become a rock star, or to try it. And as I call it, I was a broke rock star. I was on tour. I was loving the groupies, having a great time. But I would look at my bank account and I was just broke. So my father, my uncle, my grandfather had some stores, some pawn shops. So I kind of grew up in that world, the entrepreneur world of the pawn shop. And then my brother opened up his own shop. So he called me one day and he said, Yigal, I hate doing paperwork. Come help me out a couple of days a week. I'll pay you peanuts. I'll pay you next to nothing. And let's see how it goes.
At least he was being honest about it.
Oh, yeah, no, he paid me peanuts. I did the math. It was like $1.80 an hour. But I was helping him out. It was my brother. So went to work twice a week, 2 days. And then it got busier and busier and busier. And so I was there 3 days, and then 4 days, and 5 days, and 6 days. until I walked up to my brother and said, bro, I'm here all week long. So he was nice enough. He gave me 50% of the business, and we went to work. So,
well, there's a huge difference between working for peanuts and him saying, just take half the business. I wish I had a business partner like that. Sounds like you pulled something on him, I think.
He was nice enough, and I had some dirt, so I decided to pull the strings and say, I want some of the business. No, but he knew that we made a great team. My brother's an incredible salesman. He's a gemologist, so he had the whole front of the business taken care of, and he wanted someone to take care of the back, the marketing, the attorneys, the employees, and so we made a great team. And I did it for 15 years, and I learned so much doing it. So it was great.
Well, let's just expand not just upon the pawn business, but let's bring that again to some practical nature here with our Nice Guy community, and share the importance of finding somebody that really works off of your weaknesses, because it sounds like your brother kind of knew that he was really good with that front house stuff. He was good with the what do you call that thing? The loop.
Yeah, exactly.
He was good with the loop, but he wasn't good with the relationship building or even the marketing side of things, and that's where you came in. So just because I know that you work with a lot of entrepreneurs in helping them build their business and helping them understand the leadership role and building, stuff that is important for them, share that relationship thing and why that was so critical for the two of you, and how it wasn't just 1 + 1 = 2. It was really 1 + 1 = 10 in your case.
Oh, and I couldn't agree with you more. So my brother was doing well. He was doing okay, working for 1.5 years by himself. But when he brought me on, it gave him a peace of mind to take care of, A, what he loves to do, and B, what he's just not great at. So it's not just about being good or not good at it. It's what is it that you love to do, right?
Yep.
I love leadership and I love building businesses, but I can't build you a website. If I'm sure I can go in and learn how, but it's just going to take me more time and resources to figure it out. So I think my brother just thought, you know what? He's my brother. I trust him. I love him. And he's good at doing what he does. So why don't we just come together as partners and grow the business?
I think it's such a valuable tool to learn, and such an important thing for you to recognize as you're building a business. And you hit it right on the head. You said, I didn't want, I don't know about how to build a website. I could have learned, and we are. Well, most of us listening to this, most of our Funkin' fans, especially the hardcore Funkin' fans, they're realists. They understand that they can do pretty much anything, but does it make sense for them to be web designers, for them to be SEO people, for that, all of that shit, that stuff that I just never really wanted to learn. I keep saying, if I can pay somebody to do it, why should I learn it? And it sounds like that's such a valuable lesson no matter what your business is. Is that how you see it too?
Yeah. I mean, just stick to your strengths. A lot of people say it, but it's true. If you're building a business and you're an incredible plumber, let's say, stick to the plumbing aspect. Get somebody else to do the books. Get somebody else to do the marketing, because you want to take care of your customers and you want to grow. I promise you, it's going to be much harder to grow if you're sitting there trying to figure out how to do your SEO.
Right.
It's insane.
So and again, part of my following and doing a little bit of research on you in some of the writing that you've done, and you're a very good writer. I like how you write, because you do write a lot like you speak. So it's just really easy to read, and I'm not that swift a reader. So you write slow, so I can read it fast. So thank you.
I'm the same as you. That's why I write the way I write.
So you recently wrote a piece called "Leaders Don't Run," and it may seem obvious to you, but in the noisy business environment that we're in now, we always think nobody's watching or caring. But can you talk about the fact that leaders don't run? It's what should we do if we're not running?
Being courageous.
Yeah. So
it's whatever problem comes up in your business is looking at it head on, figuring it out, sitting with your employee. If you've done wrong to a customer or something went wrong, sitting face to face with them and figuring it out. A lot of times business owners, they run away from things. I don't want to take care of it. I'll deal with my marriage later. I'll deal with my health later. I'll deal with this later. But the truth is, a great leader is someone who is clear and courageous and can fix a problem, whatever that problem is, and do it right away. And I think that if you have employees, let's say you're a business owner with employees, when they see that you're that courageous, they look up to you, as opposed to just running from things. So
what are some other good traits like that? That's a really significant one. Leaders don't run, and I like that. You stay and you face the problems, and even though things are never going to be perfect, if you're the perpetrator of imperfection, which we all are, if you just stay with it and face it, you're actually going to turn out on the other side. I think you made a mention in our pre-interview that you listened to the Jay Baer interview, and Jay was talking about one of the things that we do is we go out there, we're looking for all of this praise, and really the true leaders are the ones that look for criticism and the ones that look for complaints, because that's really when you show your growth and your opportunities for expansion. So can you just share about some other things that are like that you see in the business world? I mean, you're a guy that's got some great experience.
So there's two other things, and I teach them with my clients. The first is clarity. And what clarity is being honest with yourself. I think that's one of the pitfalls of business owners is not being honest, is saying, you know what, I don't know how to do this thing, or business isn't as good as it is. So many times we see people and they ask you a question, hey, how's everything going? Oh, everything's great, when it's not.
Yeah.
And so if you say, hey, you know what, I'm having trouble in my marketing aspect or in my leadership aspect, there's people there that can help you out. The other thing about clarity is communicating clearly. One of the biggest things I learned as an employer was when I was talking with my employees, I thought they knew what I wanted because I would say it to them the way I thought it. Right. And they would go out there and they would do their own thing, and I would come up to them like, what the hell are you doing? That's not what I wanted you to do. And their response was, I thought it was. So being clear, with your clients, with your employees, that's one of the crucial aspects of being a leader.
You mentioned in one of the things that you wrote about, and again, I'm not going to put you on the spot here. I'll put myself in the position because I did the same thing. I lied to my therapist. Yeah. It's like why do we fucking lie to our therapist? Like, here's the one person that we can actually feel like we're in a safe spot and we can stay in the safe zone with. And you did what I did, and we all do that. But it doesn't mean that we're a bad person. It just means that we are so much seeking approval from everybody, that even our therapist, which is crazy. If you're going to be open to somebody, that's the person you should be open to. Spin this into today's, like the business world that we live in today. Who are we not being honest with, really, and why?
Well, it's ourselves. That's it.
Right.
100% ourselves. When you brought up that article, it made me laugh because I told my therapist, I said, you know what? I'm tired of bullshitting you. That's what I said. I said, and you're sitting here dealing with it week after week. I'm just sitting here lying to you. And he looked at me like, okay. he was in a little bit of shock, but we just want that praise, and we want it from everybody. I've seen it in mastermind groups and business groups where people lie. I have clients who come to me and they say, Yigal, I'm in this group. I'm one of the top guys. My marriage is falling apart. I'm making money and I'm spending all my money. I don't have time with my kids, yet I'm the president, or I'm the coordinator, or I'm the, whatever it is. So it's very, very tough to lie to yourself and succeed.
Yeah, we all seem to do that, and I'm not sure why. We have a very, very good partner in somebody that's on our show. Her name is Julie Riesler, and Julie wrote a book called Get a PhD in You, and we all need that. We all need to understand a little bit more about those tapes that go off in our head, and most of the time, nice guy community, and I know you know this, most of the time you can improve this or disapprove this. We get in our own way. We're the reason that we are not successful, not because of any external factors or reasons why that, we don't have enough money, or we don't have the right smarts, or we don't have the right tools. I mean, fuck that. I mean, really the reality of it is we cannot accept success in our life. So can you, and I think that you kind of go down that path also with your philosophy. Is that, or am I completely off base?
No, not at all. Going back to the not being honest part, there's an incredible documentary I watched on Netflix. I think it's called Dishonest or Dishonesty. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But it shows the science of why we fib, why we lie a little bit in order for people to like us. So it's a great, great documentary. I hope your listeners check it out. Now, a lot of times we lie because we don't want to admit that it's our fault. Mm-hmm. Right? A lot of people in business, it was Obama's fault. Oh, it's my customer's fault. Oh, it's my employee's fault. When you realize that it's all your fault, then you can turn things around and become successful. Then you can turn things around and be a better leader. When you say, okay, this is all my fault. Let me figure this out now.
Yeah, I think that that's the hard part. I think that I even struggle today, even when you come to the self-realization that this is what's holding you back. That's the biggest challenge for most of us, is just getting beyond those tapes that go off in our head. And I think there's a quote that I put out there a long time ago that seems to pop up every once in a while and hit me right back in the face. The toughest part of space is the 6 inches between your ears. It's the spot that we just can't get a hold of. I want to move over to this area called tools, tips, and tricks that allowed, in your specific case, for you to be successful at what you do. And I know I prepared you a little bit ahead of time. I think initially I used to hit people flat-footed with this question, and it kind of put them aback a little bit. So I gave you a little bit of time to think about it, and you came up with some really good answers for this. So can you share a technology tool, an action tip, and a mind hack trick that have worked with you in your life?
Sure. So technology tool, I am a big fan of Evernote, writing my notes down, taking notes, what I'm going to say to somebody, what they've said to me, and then just relating it back, especially as a business leader. So that's my technology tool. I love it. I use it. I'm a big fan of it. The other one's an action step one is you need to learn how to say no, and you have to keep all your promises. So when you say, I'm going to go to the gym, you go. When you say, I'm going to take out the garbage to your wife or whoever it is that your partner is, you do that. One of the biggest issues is people don't keep their word. And as leaders, people see that.
What do you think is I don't mean to make this a personal issue with me and anybody in my family. I'm not going to mention any names, but when somebody says to you repeatedly, I'm going to go to the gym, and then they don't go to the gym. Now, they're not disappointing me, but they are letting themselves down because they're not going to the gym. But on the other side of it, they are proving a point to me. They're not actually doing what they say they're going to do. So while it doesn't affect my health that they're not going to the gym, it does affect the way that I perceive the promises that person makes. So do you agree with that? Or you think that, oh, well, screw that, Doug. It's all about them.
I agree with you. So it's also a mindset. So let's get into the mindset. Something happens when you don't keep a promise to yourself. Kind of, I don't know if it's your subconscious or somewhere in your mind, it kind of tacks it up like, oh, you fucked it up, right? And then you do it again, and it tacks on another failure, and then another one, and then another one. And then when you have this grand business idea, this is the one that's going to make you millions of dollars. Your mind says, bro, you're a jackass. Here's 27 other times that you didn't do what you were going to say. And so I'm going to do everything in my power to not hurt us. So we're not going to do that.
So how do you get around that?
You do what you say.
Is it just as simple as just right? Okay, so is it just that simple?
It's that simple. Do what you say. So an example of this, right? If I tell an employee that I'm going to talk with him, right? We're going to have a meeting one-on-one. You don't make an excuse of I'm so busy, a sales came in, a customer had an issue. It's I keep that promise. And if you can't keep that promise, then you go up to them and you say, hey, you know what? Doug, I can't make it at 2 p.m. today, but let's try tomorrow. It's not about pushing something off. It's about getting it done. And things get in the way, right? Life happens, but keep your promises. And I'm not a genius in this. I'm not an expert in this. I fib it as well. I'm sure if you ask my wife, she'll say, Yigal does forget to keep his promises once in a while. But I've gotten better because I've learned how to say no to things. And I've learned that when I say yes, it's sacred to me. It's important to me. Another reason why people don't worry about it too much is they don't get called out. How many times, Doug, have you planned a lunch with somebody and you show up at 12 o'clock and it's like 12:05, 12:10, 12:15, and then they give you a call. Hey, buddy, I'm on my way. If you were to get up and be like, dude, kiss my ass. It's 12:15. I'm out of here. I guarantee you, they'll tell other people, oh, he's so rude, but they will never be late with you again.
No, you hit it on the head. A friend of mine who is perpetually late to everything with everyone, and he is a big boss. So everybody just kind of kowtows to what he says. He's not my boss. He's just a very, very good friend of mine. He treated me the way that he treated his employees and people that he works with on a daily basis that he can give shit to if he chooses to give shit to. And he was always late with me. And I just said, hey, listen, you can't be late with me. If you're going to be late with me, let's just not have the meeting. And a couple of times he not stood me up, but he was like the same thing, quarter after, 20 after. He's calling me saying, hey, I'm sorry I'm late. And finally just getting up enough times and leaving. He's afraid to be late with me. He says, you're the only one I'm on time for. I'm like, I said, you should be on time for everybody. You need to respect everybody's time. He gets it. He knows he shouldn't be that way, but he feels like, well, he's got the power because he's got the money.
I mean, when you call somebody at 12:20 and your meeting was at 12, that's not to let them know that you were late. It's to let them know that you were disrespectful. Letting somebody know that you're late is calling them at 11:45 saying, bro, I'm going to be late.
Right. I got it. Hey, Yigal, if you had to pick a song that represented your life, what would it be?
Oh my God. Good question. So the article that you read, The Leaders Don't Run, right now that's my song by Bon Jovi, is We Don't Run. We don't run. We stick it out. If our marriages are failing, we sit there and we work it out. If we're having issues with our kids, we sit there and we work it out. If we're having issues with employees, we work it out. We are leaders. That's it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. I'm going to give you a handful of questions. Just give me like maybe 10 or 15 seconds. I'm not going to step on you as you follow these the answers here. Just give me your spin on it. You don't have to give me an explanation,
Cool.
just the spin. Here we go. Be relatable, Yigal. What do you suck at?
Organization.
That's a tough one. Oh, it's a tough one for a lot of
being
people
very
too.
organized.
Yeah, be transparent. How did you pay your bills when you first got going?
The pawn shop business was my brother helped me out 100%. And then in this business, I sold the pawn shop business, so I've got some income coming in.
Good. Be confident. What do you do as an entrepreneur that's as good as it gets?
Teach people how to lead.
Excellent. Be humble. What experts do you need to call upon to make shit happen when it's just not happening?
I have mentors and coaches myself, 100%. I have a business coach. I have a trainer. I call on my wife. I think she's one of the smartest women I know. And so I have a team around me that I go to for help.
That's great. All right, I'm going to ask you to put these 4 words into priority order. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just as your personality states it. So here we go. As a business owner and an entrepreneur, put these into order. Employees, customers, products, systems. So employees, customers, products, systems.
So first I would put my employees, I would put my products, I would put my systems, and then I would put my customers. And I wouldn't put my customers last because they're not important to me. But if I don't have all the others in order, my customers aren't going to be happy with me.
Oh, I love it. So yeah, there's no right, there's no wrong. It's just interesting how people say things. Some people put the customers absolutely first. How can you not have a business that way? But I completely understand what you're saying. Everything's got to fall in line first. Take out your phone if you would. Do you have it anywhere near you?
It's on silent.
Okay, great. Do you have you have an iPhone or something inferior?
iPhone.
Okay, great.
Even if I didn't have an iPhone, I would say iPhone because of the way you put it. But go ahead.
Maybe. Oh, you listen to the show, so you know my co-host Strickland. He doesn't have an iPhone. So you're right. It's probably the way I'm wording the question. I think it's a fair word. Do you go to your texting app? Who was the last text message you either sent or received? What was it, and who was it from?
Sure. The last text message I received was, we have a chat with my whole family, and we have planned. My father has Parkinson's, and we planned a whole family vacation for the first time in a while, so that we can go hang out all together.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. While he is of health and has time on this earth, definitely I would encourage you to hug him, keep him close, and the same with all of your family. Do the same, and they will do the same for you when you get to be old and gray as well. I hope.
I hope so too.
So go to your photo app. What's the last thing you took a picture of?
Do I have to share that? No.
Well, we had a many months ago, probably before you were a listener to the show, we had a dominatrix on the show, and she actually did tell us what she had a picture of. It was a little risque, but it was enjoyable.
So the picture I took last was at the gym this morning, and it wasn't of myself. I did a great workout, and I thought I was a badass. And then I saw a woman on a treadmill with the incline just like all the way up a hill with a 10-pound bag on her back, walking up for 20 minutes. And I just said, I am a wuss. I cannot believe what this woman's doing. So.
That's incredible. Yeah, I love when those treadmills, they have the incline thing, and you're leaning straight into the treadmill.
This woman was a warrior. I was like, oh my God, I can't.
Hey, Yigal, if our community of our Funkin' fans and everybody wanted to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Sure. So you can go to my website, yigaladato.com, or I'm going to give a free gift to your audience. If you go to unlocktheleader.com, you can download a PDF on how to be a better leader.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you might have to send me that link. I'm not sure I have that one as of the date that we did the little Q&A. So you can just put that in the chat box over on Skype or wherever you can put it right in this chat box here on Zencastr. Sure. And we'll make sure we include that in the show notes. So Yigal, thank you so much for being a guest on the show today and for sharing all of your you have a lot of good stuff, man. I definitely want to stay in touch with you. I like your writing and I like where you're heading.
Thanks, man. I had a great time, and I appreciate it, Doug.
Hey, Nice Guy community, never underestimate the value of nice. Again, special thanks to Yigal for being a part of the show. We'll put all of his information in the and links in the show notes for you. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
Click on the Patreon link in the show notes. And for as little as $2 a month, you can help support the podcast and get access to fun bonus content. That's like half a cup of Starbucks coffee once a month, a grande, double shot, maybe a little flavoring. Thanks for listening. I mean, seriously, you need to cut back on your caffeine anyway.